You want to know why he didn't pitch a no-hitter last night?
Tell us.
It had nothing to do with him actually giving up a base hit. He did not pitch a no-hitter last night, not because of Dansby Swanson, but because Evan Roberts tweeted, is he really going to do it? Luis Severino didn't pitch a no-hitter last night because Sean Morash, with his fat fingers, tweeted out, congratulations to Luis Severino on a no-hitter. Luis Severino didn't pitch a no-hitter last night because Greg Giannotti put the game on the radio when he wasn't listening to the game prior to that. We all could... Oh, no, wait, there's more. Luis Severino didn't pitch a no-hitter last night because Gary Cohen had the balls as a broadcaster to say, hey, guys, Luis Severino has a no-hitter. So what I'm wondering, why are we all so sick? Like, what makes us as sports fans believe this kind of nonsense? Because I'm a part of it. I was towing the rubber last night, too. I can't say this. I can't do that. I can't look this way. Why do we as sports fans do this to ourselves?
Right. I'm trying to think of the psychological effect that you think it's having. And it's partly I'm influencing because the energy in the world is going towards our guy, Luis Severino, that he's not going to mess up because we're willing it to happen, which is utter nonsense unless you believe in the metaphysical.
Is it?
Right? But you also think that Luis Severino is aware of all of the eyes that he sees from that's obviously there in person, but the millions potentially, probably not millions, but, hundreds of thousands that are watching through the television. And if all of a sudden he becomes aware, then the pressure, it starts to mount and he's bound to make some mistake. So therefore, even though he's not listening to you, doesn't know what you're typing on your keyboards or on your iPads or iPhones or whatever it may be. He has no idea of any of that. You believe that it's increasing the pressure on him. And that's why fans think that these stupid, curses or jinxes are real. They're not real at all. They have zero effect on anything.
It is, to me, last night is a great social experiment for how effed up we all are. Because to me, there's a really big difference between prematurely saying a game is over or a series is over. And I don't view that as a jinx. I view that as, hey, you're getting ahead of yourself. So when Sean Morash says, we don't even need to play this series against Washington, I'm not mad at him because I think he's jinxing the New York Rangers. I say to him, hey, you're getting ahead of yourself. If Loogie...
He was right, by the way.
He may have been right about that,
Damn right, Teague.
But when Loogie texts us last night about Porzingis' injury, some may construe that as, oh, he's looking ahead towards the Eastern Conference Finals.
Damn right I am.
And that may annoy some because you're looking ahead. And I understand the looking ahead thing. But think about last night. I go on social media and simply say, wow, Severino's pitching well. And yet, in my head, I think I'm jinxing him. There was a guy sitting next to me last night in 318.
Yeah.
He says hello to me in the eighth inning. Very nice guy. Says, hey, big fan of the show. Say Tiki. Ho, what's up to Tiki? I didn't want to say anything until after the no-hitter because I felt I would jinx it by saying it in the middle of the game. And I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong with us? And I'm not just picking on him. I'm the same way. I got mad at Sean last night because he texted us and even tweeted it out. Hey, it's a really quick Met game. This is something else. And I was like, hey, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. So even I try to think like I'm rational. We're all a bunch of bastard cases when it comes to these things. Like, do we really think we're jinxing Luis Severino? Do we really think we're jinxing something that we're watching on TV? And like we all today, calmly at 2:07 p.m. on a Tuesday, can say, no, it's all fake. It's not true. But you all acted like maniacs last night.
I think it's also like you don't want to... You're setting yourself up. You're building up this moment that's going to be eminently memorable, right? This is why we watch sports, right? It's to see greatness. I think it was one of the first lines I ever said when I started doing radio back in 2013 with BT on the national network. I said, you know why I love sports? Because you never know when you're going to see something great.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to see a world record if you're watching an individual sport. Or you never know if you're watching golf when you're going to see a 59. You never know. But as it starts to almost happen, you get anxious because in your mind you're saying, man, all I need is 2 more innings. Sevy needs 2 more innings, and he's got a no-hitter, right? Or all he's got to do is make a birdie on the next 2 holes, and guess what? He's going to go sub 60. All the team guns at All-Star Cheers, all they have to do is land 1 more stunt, and they're going to win the national championship, the world championship. By the way, they touched down. They had a major deduction, so they got second. But like in your mind, right. Congratulations anyways to Team Gun CJ, shout out. But at the end of the day, you build yourself up because you want to see something great. And so the whole superstition has nothing to do with Luis Severino. It has everything to do with controlling or influencing your artificial expectation of what you want to happen.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start like talking about it, you put it out there to the sphere, and you don't want to disappoint yourself. It's more you. It's more the fan. It's more me. It's more Sean. It's more Loogie. It's more that dude sitting next to you at the game last night. You're building up the expectation. It has nothing to do with what Sevy's doing. It's all about what you want to see happen.
Well, we become completely irrational. Like, we all become unhinged. We were all unhinged last night. And a part of me, like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to be responsible. But then the other side of me, this is why I'm a complete bastard case when it comes to this. The other side of me wants to inform. Like, not everybody was watching the Mets against the Cubs on a Monday night.
Right.
And to me, there's a lot of people out there who had no idea Luis Severino had a no-hitter through 7 innings.
Right.
So a part of me wants to say, hey, world, Luis Severino has a no-hitter through 7 innings. But if I say that, there are people like Loogie who thinks, hey, you blew it. Like, Loogie, deep down, do you think I cost Luis his no-hitter last night?
Yes.
See?
Because you blew the other one. Wasn't there another no-hitter earlier this year where you opened your big dumb mouth?
Luis,
so why'd you do it again?
Because what I just said. Like, a part of me wants people to know, hey, if you're not watching, you may miss something historic.
What are you, Christian Bale and the Newsies? People will get the news. It's 2024.
Yeah,
they don't need you
but he wants them to see it in real time. He wants them to. By the way, I turned it on. I was watching I'm not kidding, the All-Star World Championships down in Orlando. I was watching that last night. Mm-hmm. And when I got that text message, I said, oh, wait, they're not performing for a little bit. Let's switch it to the Mets game. So we started watching the Mets game.
I got it. And by the way, I never use the words no-hitter. Like in text chats or even on social media, I said, he's pitching really well.
So your intention, it worked.
Of course.
Like what you wanted to happen, happened. And so we started watching.
No doubt. And look, it's unhinged. We as sports fans are unhinged maniacs. And again, like today, we have a nice conversation. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You saying it doesn't matter. But while it's happening, we're all freaking nuts. Everybody's mad at Gary Cohen. He's not supposed to say it. Then they're mad at Anthony DiComo because he's tweeting it. Then they're mad at me for implying it. Then they're mad at Sean, who is just like completely a pig because he comes out and says, congratulations to Luis Severino. I mean, clearly you
tweeted that?
I did. I wanted to be the first to congratulate him. I love Sev.
Yeah, but that showed me, and I was curious about this last night.
That's pure Evan troll.
I like being ahead, not behind.
No, that showed me that as a Yankee fan, you didn't want Luis Severino to pitch a no-hitter last night.
No.
And by the way, if that's how you feel, it's okay to say
I don't think that's true.
Actually, no, it's not true, Tegan. I'm going to tell you why. Because one thing you got right was the use of pig. I was a pig. I was a selfish pig, Evan, because I'm on a hot streak showing that I'm not a jinx after the Rangers, and I said I can go 2 for 2 here. So I was trying to build up my non-mush resume. Unfortunately, I think I might have mushed him.
And then selfishly, last night I'm sitting there at Citi Field, and it was a game that almost didn't happen. Because my dad, who I was going to the game with, texts me about 2 hours before the game and says, Evan, I can't move my leg. I'm in major leg pain.
What?
I don't think I'm going to be able to go to the game tonight. So I say to my dad, oh, man, that sucks. But if you want, I could pick you up. You know, the show's ending about a half hour early. He lives in Queens, or at least he has an apartment in Queens. I can pick you up. My dad's like, you know what? If you could pick me up, which means I don't have to get on the 7 train and walk too much, I'm going to do it. So as I'm leaving, I say to Sean and Loogie, hey, you guys almost ended up at this game. No, my dad couldn't go. There was a chance I was going to take one of you. There was also a chance I wasn't going to go at all because my own back has been bothering me lately.
Yeah. So you laying on the floor yesterday.
I was laying on the floor yesterday. I got major back issues. Either way, me and my dad, like 2 senior citizens, no offense to senior citizens, limp into Citi Field like on our deathbed. Oh, we sit down. It took an hour and a half to walk down the 5 little stairs to get to our seats, and we are both in pain. And as Sevy is getting out after out after out, I'm looking at him. He's looking back at me. We're not saying a damn word, but we're thinking the same thing.
Well, because you're scoring it. And you see it.
Oh, I see it.
It's one thing to no, hey, it hasn't get up a hit. It's another to look down at your lap and see, X. What?
Tiki knows nothing about scoring. What's an X?
A circle, 9.
Circle, 9, whatever.
But then by the 4th inning, I stopped playing the game. And I said, dude, he's got a no-hitter going on. And we talked about it for the next 4 innings, and I deep down thought, and it's purely selfish, because what does this have to do with Luis Severino? In my mind, I'm like, this is the story.
Yeah, but
we were not going to go to the game. We got back issues. He's got leg issues. He can't walk. And now my dad is going to get to see his first Mets no-hitter because he wasn't there for Johan, wasn't there for the combined no-hitter. And trust me, I get it, audience. Half of you guys don't think the Johan Santana was real anyway. And the combined no-hitter, that ain't real anyway either. So there's a part of you who thought last night would have been the first real no-hitter in the history of the New York Mets. You're a bunch of freaking morons, but you think that.
Right, by the way, 85%, not half.
85, okay, whatever.
Right.
So I thought I was then convinced it's going to happen.
Right.
This story is too freaking perfect.
But what you just said a second ago proves that you didn't jinx it. Because you started talking about it in the 4th inning.
I jinxed it in that it didn't happen.
I know, but okay.
But it wasn't an immediate jinx.
Exactly. To me, the jinx is immediate. It's like when you hear the football play-by-play announcer saying, XYZ kicker hasn't missed a field goal in 38 tries. It's been almost a full season, and an on cue, next field goal attempt, he misses it. Right? I feel like the jinx has to be immediate. If you start talking about it and you're going 4 innings, which is at least 40 minutes, probably longer, right? Then you're not killing the jinx.
So
you're actually kind of making it happen.
So
you're
technically,
furthering it.
Me and my dad talking about it was not a
It
jinx.
extended it. It extended the no-hitter.
This is the absurdity of jinxes. What the hell's wrong with us? It has to happen immediately. If it happens an hour later, it doesn't count. Well, if that's the case, then Gary Cohen did nothing wrong last night because how early was he mentioning the no-hitter, Luke? Pretty early, right?
Pretty early, yeah. But you know what? You could say that about Gary, Tony DeComo, Sean. At least they had the guts to say something. You implying it, I think, was the worst possible thing. Because then everybody goes, what's Evan talking about? I wonder what he's talking about. Just flat out say it. So you ruined it. You jinxed it by implying it. Just
First of all, I said it to my dad in the seat. Does that not count?
No, of course it doesn't count. It's only when you put it out there as far as in social media or if you did it like if you were on the radio or whatever watching it. You implying it to me, that was the Malloy.
His rules are so confusing, Terry.
But this whole thing is confusing because at the end of the day, it means nothing to Luis Severino. It means nothing to the Chicago Cubs. It means nothing to the teams that are actually performing on the field. It's just your mind playing tricks on your mind.
So you're trying to tell me Sean Morass never jinxed you into a fumble throughout your NFL career?
Never, and I don't think he would want me to.
No, he said to his dad, Tiki's never going to fumble again, and then you put one on the ground 10 seconds later.
Maybe he did.
Well, how does this translate to, like, lucky underwear, jerseys? You never did any of that in your career?
Never.
See, to me,
Never.
I'll wear the same pair of, underwear or the same jersey every Giant game, something like that. But is that really a jinx, or is that just looking to continue good luck?
You're the guy that doesn't even believe in it because you go out of your way.
I don't believe in.
That's a good
That's what I'm saying. I don't believe in jinxes or mushes, but
Maybe
yet
it's just
I believe
for you.
I believe in stringing on good luck if something's working for you.
Interesting.
So is that the same thing?
I mean, I think you're look, I'm all over the place too, so I'm not just ripping you on that because I think what I say publicly is very different than what I say privately. Privately, I told my dad in the 4th inning, Luis Severino has a no-hitter. But then publicly, I know the shame I'm going to feel if I use the words no-hitter. Because we're all a bunch of freaking crazies. Like, we as sports fans are not human. Like, I heard it this morning with Gio when he's like, I don't know if I should turn the radio on because there's a no-hitter. Like, we're all nuts when you really think about it. And I will make everybody feel better. We are not the reason Dansby Swanson singled in a left field in the 8th inning last night. It was not us. Now, I'll tell you who we can blame. The offense only scoring 1 run. Joey Wendell decided to throw to second base and try to turn a double play instead of throwing home, and that all led to a brutal, awful Met loss. But before that, we had a chance to see history, and we all feel like we played a role in it by what we said about it as it was happening. We'll get your calls next, 877-337-6666. And as I started to ponder that this no-hitter was going to happen, I started to think about how I would feel about it as a Met fan, considering we've already had 2 no-hitters. Would it have been special? Would I have cried? Then I started thinking about Sean Morash and Keith McPherson and Chris McMonagle. What are they going to feel like if Luis Severino pitched a no-hitter for the New York Mets? We'll get to those thoughts plus your calls, an edition of Posted and Toasted coming up at 3:30, and we will get you ready for what has a chance to be a historical night in New York City as the New York Knicks try to close out the Philadelphia 76ers. And down about 400 miles south, the New York Islanders try to write the script that could live in NHL history forever if they could take Game 5 down in Raleigh.